Horrible morning. Horrible. Not what we want to be doing, but we have no option but to start the day waxing lyrical about the brilliance of Arsenal Football Club last night. They were fantastic. They did exactly what they needed to do. And I'm going to be totally honest with you. When I saw the team that Mikel Arteta had decided to put out, I was optimistic. I thought there is a chance that he may have got something wrong. His decision to make 5 changes, 5, that's the most that he has made so far this season in the Premier League. It felt dangerous to me. It felt like it could be a recipe for disaster because Luton are an incredible team. They are so focused, they're so driven, and they certainly do not know how to roll over. They will fight until the bitter end, and they have a never-say-die attitude. Let's also remember what happened when Arsenal went to Kenilworth Road. Arsenal were a Rizzler paper away from dropping points. Okay, they pulled it out the bag. They did really well. But Luton have proved already countless times this season that they will fight to the bitter end. So I thought Luton going to North London, not far from them, it's kind of it's not a derby as such, but it's a local fixture. Luton fans would be massively up for it. I thought there is a chance here with this weakened side that maybe Luton can get something out of the game. And then I looked at the side and I thought, how, for example, is Gabriel Jesus not playing? He desperately needs a goal. He's an excellent player. He's capable of scoring against a team like Luton. He's a really good player. And yes, the form of Kai Havertz has left him slightly redundant. It's left him, who arrived at Arsenal to be the main man, he's arrived at Arsenal to be the main goal scorer. It's left him kind of surplus to requirements. But again, that is a testament to the brilliance of Mikel Arteta. It doesn't fill me with joy to say these words, but I really, really admire what he's doing. I really admire the team that he's building. Arsenal really are getting it right. And this rotation, I thought it was going to be a problem. I really thought there was a chink in the armour. But I suppose it doesn't matter if you rotate. When you have players of the quality of Martin Odegaard, Gabriel, Saliba, David Raya, when you have players of that quality, it doesn't really matter what else is going on. When the team have such a clear ideology, when the manager has instilled such a belief in the players, it doesn't really matter who the individual personnel are. We've seen it at Liverpool, haven't we? A player can relinquish his position, a player comes in and the ball keeps rolling. The system is there. Everybody is singing from the same hymn sheet. Everybody knows what their responsibilities are. So when Reece Nelson comes into the starting lineup at Arsenal, it doesn't really change too much. And the players that have been brought in under Mikel Arteta's watchful eye have just been amazing. So much so, in fact, that I have a bit of a declaration to make on this video. I have a declaration that I never thought I would make. Do you know what I will do? Never. I will never ever doubt Mikel Arteta again. It's left me with egg on my face far too many times. I have constantly thought that Arteta was going to get it wrong. I've constantly queried his decision-making. And this goes right back. This isn't only about this season. This goes right back. I remember when I said that it was ridiculous, ludicrous, that he let Aubameyang go. Aubameyang, a player that has guaranteed goals, a player that has won trophies single-handedly for Arsenal, an excellent goal scorer, one of the best to have played in the Emirates era of Arsenal. Arteta let him go. I thought, that's ridiculous. You cannot let this man go. And I also think that they cost themselves Champions League football that year. But the bigger project was so much more important. And it isn't only about Aubameyang. That's the best case I can make. I thought that loads of decisions were wrong. I thought signing Kai Havertz was a ridiculous decision. And so far, I'm being proved wrong. I thought signing David Raya was a ridiculous decision. I genuinely believe that Aaron Ramsdale, not only last season, but the season before, was one of the best goalkeepers in the league. I thought it was ludicrous, foolish, idiotic is the word I believe I used, of Mikel Arteta to destabilise his back line by getting rid of Aaron Ramsdale, by putting Aaron Ramsdale in a situation where he is no longer the number one, putting David Raya in a very awkward position where he's coming into a team, the team felt settled, Ramsdale was a fan favourite, Ramsdale was crucial for the success that Arsenal have had of late. Not only was he a brilliant goalkeeper, not only was he a wonderful shot stopper, but he would start their attacks. And suddenly, David Raya has come in and has been masterful. He has now kept 11 clean sheets this season. Bear in mind that the closest to him is 3 clean sheets short. That's 8. So David Raya has got 11. Bearing in mind, he didn't play the first 4 games for Arsenal and he missed the 2 games against Brentford. So he has played far less games and yet has far and away the most clean sheets. And yeah, I thought it was a mistake. I don't think I'm on my own about this, by the way. I think even some Arsenal fans, if any Arsenal fans are watching, could you let me know in the comments? Do you empathise with what I'm saying here? But he is getting it right. Mikel Arteta has the Midas touch. He is turning water into wine on a consistent basis. And look, Arsenal win the game. What was the score last night? It's 2-0. What's significant about that? It's yet another fixture where Arsenal haven't conceded a goal. How many times are Arsenal going to keep clean sheets? And David Raya is obviously at the epicentre of that. So last night they win 2-0. It was perfect, wasn't it? Job done, perfection from Mikel Arteta's team. Think about what he wanted to get out of that fixture. It's very much get the job done, get the 3 points, get out of there. You've got bigger things going on at the moment. To borrow a phrase from a very, very iconic man within the YouTube space, bigger fish to fry. And look, that was proved redundant last year, but it's true this year. Arsenal playing at home to Luton, look, they just needed to get it done. And they did. They rested players, they secured the 3 points, and they moved back to the top of the league. That's all they needed to do. Rest players. Rest 5 players. Considering what they've got coming up. They've got Brighton to worry about. They've got Bayern Munich to worry about. They have a really difficult fixture list in the Premier League, but there is no reason when you look at this Arsenal team that they can't win every single one of them. And if they do, they probably win the league. But this is how good they are. And again, it was a perfect night. You know, Thomas Partey's back. He's going to have a really impactful season for Arsenal, you know. I think he's a really big player for them as the season rolls on now. The next couple of months, Thomas Partey, he had, played 25 minutes or whatever the other night. Tough game. Another hour and a bit yesterday. He's finding rhythm, finding form, and he could be crucial. Because let's remember, this time last year, he was Arsenal's best midfielder. This time last year, the best midfielder at Arsenal was Thomas Partey. This year, because of the brilliance of Declan Rice, he hasn't really been mentioned. But having him back is huge for them. And the jewel in the crown of last night. Look, Odegaard, it's very important that we don't get too sentimental and romantic about it. Martin Odegaard was the best player on the pitch. Martin Odegaard, sensational. Opens the scoring. How many times does Martin Odegaard open the scoring? It's a really big thing to factor in when you discuss a player, you know. Scoring big goals. Not scoring the 4th in a 5-0 win. Not Timo Werner. I'm talking about decisive goals. And Martin Odegaard's last 3 goals for Arsenal have all been the opener. So look, I think the first one they went on to win 5-0. The second one they went on to win 6-0. This one they went on to win 2-0. 0-0-0. See? They do not concede goals. Gabriel Saliba, Raya. Unreal. But Martin Odegaard opens the scoring, settles the fans, takes the sting out of the away fans. And he did it again last night. He was sensational. And I think that Martin Odegaard is one of the few players in the league now that we can say this about. Has the ability to play a pass that mere mortal footballers cannot even see. So look, Thomas Partey is a great example here because I think he's a class footballer. I think he's brilliant on the pitch. I really do. Excellent in his position. But Martin Odegaard has the ability to play a pass that Thomas Partey wouldn't even be able to see. And that's not a slight at Thomas Partey. I'm just using Partey as an example because he's so good to amplify how fantastic at football Martin Odegaard is. He really is a class act. His passing range is comparable to the likes of Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne. That is how good Martin Odegaard is. So he's popped up with another goal, but I'm going to be a little bit sentimental. Emile Smith-Rowe, the jewel in the crown, the standing ovation that he got. He's such a popular man over at Arsenal. What do they call him? The Croydon De Bruyne or something. And look, he played yesterday. He played so well. In fact, do you know what? There was a moment. He was involved in both goals, but there was a moment that I think sums him up perfectly. Sums up not only him in this game, but it's almost a microcosm of his Arsenal career. Just after Arsenal scored, Luton break, and it was, what's his name? Andros Townsend. Andros Townsend cuts into the box. Looked dangerous for Arsenal. You know that theory that you're at your most vulnerable just when you score. It was true. Andros Townsend's in the box. You suddenly go, oh my God, who comes sliding in? Robust, physical, aggressive, perfectly clean, and well-timed tackle. Not only to dispossess Andros Townsend, not only to take the ball off him, but to retain possession and break himself. Emile Smith-Rowe. At that moment, you're like, God, this is a player. And do you know what? Chelsea were desperate to sign him. Look, we haven't done badly in this theory. We've got Cole Palmer, who I adore, who should be starting for England, in my opinion. Certainly going to England. to Germany. But we wanted Smith Rowe, and it didn't work out. And fair play to him, he chose to stay at Arsenal. That tells you something about the man that he is as well. Choosing to stay at Arsenal when you have the opportunity to come to Chelsea, it says something about who he is. At Arsenal, it certainly looks like it's going to be very difficult for him to get into the team. Because to get into the Arsenal team nowadays, you have to be one of the best players in the world. Is he better than Martinelli? Probably not. Is he better than Kai Havertz? Probably not in current form. Is he better than Leandro Trossard? Possibly not. So the fact that he's chosen to stay and fight for his career at Arsenal really is huge. And it shows you who he is. He could have easily sulked about his lack of opportunities. He could easily have left, but he didn't. And then when the opportunity arrived, he took it with both hands. And he's now started 3 games this season. Look, his England career will obviously be on hold, but I think he made the case to his manager that he should be selected more. He has given Mikel Arteta a wonderful problem to have. And as the games come thick and fast now, they're going to be playing in Munich. They're going to be playing against Munich at the Emirates. They're going to be playing every single fixture in the league as a cup final. Having a player like Smith Rowe, in the way that I said Thomas Partey could have a big role for Arsenal this season, Smith Rowe, I believe, could also be part of that. It was basically the perfect night. The only thing that I think, do you know what, when I was watching the game, I did think Eddie Nketiah, man, I just don't really see it anymore. I thought he was terrible. I really thought he was poor. And I've rated Nketiah. I've been quite kind about him, but I really did believe that he was poor. It looked to me like Arsenal were playing with 10 men when he was on the pitch. Like, really not good. So I think he could leave because Gabriel Jesus isn't even getting in the team at the moment. So I don't really see the situation where Arsenal will need Eddie Nketiah ever again. So he will leave. But generally speaking, as a piece of management, Mikel Arteta got everything right. Everything that he did worked to perfection. They got the 3 points. They rested players. They did absolutely everything that they needed to do. To get 3 points with Bukayo Saka and Declan Rice both on the bench is, well, in fact, resting them completely is just perfect. So some would have said that it felt like an unnecessary gamble. Nelson, Smith Rowe. But never doubt Mikel Arteta. That is the moral of this story. Basically, never doubt Mikel Arteta. Thank you for watching this video. I can say that it was a hateful way for me to start the day. But it had to be done. Arsenal's done the business yet again. Ugh. Chelsea tonight. I'll be live tonight, so make sure that you check it out. Me versus Adam McCullough. See you there.